Hello everybody and welcome to the third mission of the Red Flag campaign. Now, as hyped as I was for the second one, I'm, how do you say it, unhyped for this one. There's again a briefing, and of course I worked through it, but sadly it spends a lot of time talking about, oh yeah, and then they attended 1 hour briefing from the intelligence agency and everything, and that's it. And then there isn't really a lot of substance. They talk for half a page about how the fighter pilots behave like schoolboys. Tee-hee-hee, I guess. Well, they went a little bit into unit composition. You know, stuff that is in a standard military briefing. That's what I expected, and that's what we don't get in this campaign, sadly. They brush up like on a little bit on unit composition, what kind of SAM there is, but from all the stuff that has been happening, yeah, we should know more about what's going on, and they don't tell us in the briefing. They don't even tell us our loadout. So let's have a look into the F2 view, what we're actually carrying. Alright, that looks like a doomsday loadout, which is okay, I guess, since this is a doomsday scenario that we're simulating here. And also, what I brushed up on in 1 and 2 was a complete disregard for any emission control, you know, all kinds of radars just blasting all the time. They tried to explain that away in the mission briefing for this mission by saying that apparently, you know, they're trying to have a lot of activity, so when they do the big strike, it's going to be the same activity as before. But there are two problems with that. Problem number one is, just because you're having a big package going out doesn't mean that you can't also have emission control. That's weird. And second of all, yeah, the package that's going out is not the same package that has been blasting the frequencies over the last couple of days. So the electronic warfare guys on the other side will definitely pick up on the change in activity. Okay, but now I'm rushing through my startup again instead of doing a proper one, since we learned last time that they don't account for time on the ground starting up the plane in the flight plan. So I'm supposed to be pushing at 1618, and I'm just trying to get on station as quickly as possible so that I hopefully will actually make 1618 going full throttle. Also, a funny detail was, you know, Red Flag is supposed to be the pinnacle of air coordination, you know, working together, integration of different kinds of airframes. And in the briefing, instead of, you know, establishing proper comm patterns, you know, what are the briefed words on what signal is who going where, doing what, instead they're saying, oh yeah, we'll just check your data link. You know, you see on the data link when everybody else is going, you just don't go ahead of the SEAT flights. Yeah, thanks. That's what I expect from the pinnacle of coordination. Just look at your data link. Seriously, guys. Alright, so I'm all sorted up and I start texting and my wingman isn't going. Okay, so we're waiting for the AI wingman. We're already like 5 minutes behind the time. Bit of time acceleration and there he goes. Alright, let's go. At the beginning, I decided not to cut these videos, you know, for the immersion and everything. Airborne. And you might be able to tell by now that I've given up on that. So there's no A-10C anyway. Everybody is just going for it, so we're just gonna go behind those two eagles because, hey, who gives a fuck?
Dodge 2, airborne. Dodge 1, passing waypoint 2 at 4,000.
Takeoff. Okay, and quick look at my HUD. I'm 8 minutes
Forward 4,
behind the time.
passing waypoint 3
And
at
you saw my
8,000.
wingman not going, you saw the traffic in front of me. I couldn't have gone any quicker. You know, they tell you that you're supposed to have about 20% reserve at all times. Now, my time reserve here is what, minus 20%? I think they got this the wrong way around.
Lucy 1, airborne.
What's that on the RVR? So way to go, last 2 days letting one set of airplanes fly around, and then on the day of the strike using completely different airframes. Yeah, that goes a long way to hiding what you're up to. Okay, well, I'm transiting, I'm looking at my waypoints, and that is number 5, and that is number 6, and I'm supposed to push number 6 at 16:18. Now, the time put in for the waypoint is 16:10. I can't believe I actually paid money for this. They were too lazy to actually feed the speed and time into the bloody flight plan. So yeah, turns out 16:18 wasn't actually the time to push, but 16:18 was the time that the AI aircraft got the go-ahead to push, which means that they only crossed the point like 2 or 3 minutes later. So of course, you know, I was circling the whole time waiting for them, looking at the data link, because yeah, that is actually the only reliable source of information you get. In the meantime, the AI has been giving all kinds of weird calls. For example, every time they moved over a point in their holding pattern, they called pushing. Now, pushing does not mean you're just flying your holding pattern and passing your waypoint again. And that just there in the background, Uzi 1 running in. Uzi 1 is not running in. What he meant to say was he's fencing in. And here comes the best part. I'm supposed to contact a JTAG. Now, there's a good way to do it, and that is by actually scripting the JTAG yourself. And there's a bad way to do it, and that is by using the DCS JTAG, which is a hot mess. And you guessed right, they're using the DCS JTAG.
I have AGM 65G, AGM 65D, CBU 97, 2,300 cannon.
Oh yeah, that information that the SA-19 is destroyed means nothing to me, since the SA-19 wasn't even briefed.
Dodge 2, passing Irish. Hog 2, 1. No further tasking available. Good job. You may depart.
Thank you, DCS JTAG, for absolutely proving my point. So yeah, if I were playing this by the book, and I mean that is what the Red Flag campaign is for, playing it by the book, I would now turn around and fly home, because apparently my tasking has already been completed, and there is no reason to put my aircraft and my weapon into harm's way with no tasking.
9,000. Armed with AGM 65G, AGM 65D, CBU 97, 2,300 gun. Playtime is 0 plus 60. Available for tasking. What do you have for us? Hog 2, 1. No further tasking available. Good job. You may depart.
Okay. For the benefit of the game, I'm just gonna keep going and try it again later once more. Nice, I found the convoy. Now, since I don't have a clear SAM picture, and I don't want to penetrate too far into enemy territory, the ideal way would be to use standoff weapons, so we got with 2 A-10s, 4 ATGMs in total, and that would be enough to destroy our primary target. But for that to work, my wingman will have to kill 4 targets. Okay, that's not happening. Yeah, with 2 players you could do this easily in one run and be on your way again. Okay, let's give the JTAG one last go.
Hog 2, 1, 2, A-10. Papa at 7,000. Armed with AGM 65G, AGM 65D, CBU 97, 2,300. Gun. Time on station is 0 plus 60. Available for tasking. What do you have for us?
Mud spike, 12 o'clock.
Hog 2-1. This is infield 8-1.
South SA-11 inbound.
Ready for 9 line.
Oh my god, it is alive. Yes.
Line is as follows: 1, 2, 3, NA, 6,000 feet, MSL. Column of vehicles moving north. November, Bravo, 6, 4, 4, 6, 2, 0. Marked by Willie Pete, 0. No factor. Egress, south. Advise when ready for remarks and further talk on. Ready to copy
Dodge
remarks.
1, fence in.
Request CBU 97, 4, SA 11, southwest, 2, 5, nautical. SA 19, north, 5, nautical. Make your attack heading 0, 2, 0, 0. Wind 1, 0, 8 at 3 meters per second.
2, contact armored target, 12 o'clock, port 1-8.
And this is why I hate the DCS JTAG. So he wants me to attack a moving target with cluster bombs, even though I have Mavericks. And this is my primary target. And then the only direction he doesn't want me to run in from is the one that makes sense. Okay, you know, attacking down the nexus of the convoy, fine, but the threat environment is more important here, and that would dictate running in from the side. Especially for center for deployment like Mavericks, I would have to run in from the side of the convoy. Anyway, I'm gonna follow the weapons he wanted. I'm not gonna follow his attack heading.
2, contact armored target, 1 o'clock, port 1-7. 2, contact target, 12 o'clock, port 1-4. 2, contact target, 12 o'clock, port 1-4. Dodge 1, passing quartzite. 2, contact air defense target, 1 o'clock, port 1-3. 2, contact armored target, 1 o'clock, port 1-3. 2, contact armored target, 1 o'clock, port 1-2. 2, mud spike, 11 o'clock.
Dodge 2, IP, running in.
2, mud spike, 11 o'clock.
6,000. November, Bravo, 6, 4, 4, 6, 2, 0. Final attack heading 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0. Read back correct. Hog 2, 1. Standby data. Report IP inbound. Hog 2, 1. IP inbound.
2, mud spike, 10 o'clock.
2, 1. Continue.
Yeah, remember what I said about the threat environment? With Mavericks, I would be way lower, not exposing myself, and more that missile is not for me. Luckily, wouldn't expose myself that far, and I wouldn't have to run in as far into enemy territory.
Dodge 2, Dodge 1, IP, running in.
Last minute adjustment of the aiming point, and my RVR is just giving me serious anxiety, so I'm always looking to the left out the window.
Warning, autopilot.
Hog 2, 1. Abort, abort, abort. You have no permission.
Altitude, altitude.
Okay, I'm actually gonna use the egress south that he told me, trying not to get too high. And yeah, the abort came of course because I wasn't using his attack heading.
2. Contact air defense target, 1 o'clock, port 18.
And that's an air defense
Pull up,
target he
pull up.
didn't tell me about. The JTAC, that is. Oh, nice. Again, proving my point for stand of weapons. Nice, actually hit the moving convoy. Okay, just placed my TGP between the armored units, and this time I'm gonna run in with CBUs actually on the attack heading I was given by the JTAC.
GCI is down.
I'm making that exactly 360, since everything else would mean I would have to come in from the west. And I think we all figured out that by now that's where the SAMs are.
Hog 2-1. Abort, abort, abort. You have no permission.
Okay, I have no idea why I had no permission there. Especially when I said inbound, that's when he checks the attack heading usually, and I was on the wrong heading and he didn't call abort there. And now maybe I was on 359 or instead of 360, I don't know.
Pull up, pull up.
Alright, let's see if our wingman can still score some kills. He already caught RTB, but he's still here, so...
2. Engage targets of opportunity.
2. Affirm.
And that is mission 1. Hooray, I guess. Right, I still got 4 Mavericks, and I got a secondary target, so I'm just gonna fly to the secondary and
Warning,
unload my
autopilot.
Mavericks at max range. I'm not gonna bother with the JTAC again. That looks like a field of stationary tanks. Let's see if there's some AA between them.
Running in. Dodge 2. Fence out.
Alright, that's the Tunguska. So I'm gonna shoot on that and then just 3 random tanks that are closer to me than the tank.
12 o'clock. 2, spike, 11 o'clock. 2, spike, 11 o'clock.
Alright, he's over a half-destroyed convoy. I tell my wingman to engage target's opportunity, and he goes suicides into the enemy AA shield. That's okay. I don't care. Still a bit of distance to the tunk. Let's see if I can get one of the closer tanks locked first. Rifle.
Dodge 1, defense south. 2, SAM launch, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, buddy. That SAM launch is for you and just for you.
2, SAM launch, 11 o'clock. 2, engage defensive.
Warning, autopilot.
That's me out of Mavericks and on my way home.
2, Tally Bandit, 3 o'clock.
At this point, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna continue this campaign
Pull up,
because
pull up.
the briefings you get are severely lacking the basic
Pull up,
understanding
pull
of the mission makers of what is needed for the execution of a proxy exercise just isn't there. There's a complete disregard for flight plans, times on target, etc. And you know, they're relying on all those DCS assets that are not working, that other mission makers and campaign makers have effectively worked around, and they've just put in there, either they work or they don't, and well, they don't work, and it's just completely unplayable. So I hope you at least found this mess entertaining. Have a good day, till next time.